Thank you very much. So delighted to be here. So as you can see, I call this epic moments. And of course the mo is all about me, so I'm just kind of playing with that a little bit. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. And why I talk about epic is, when you look at the dictionary, it says surpassing the ordinary, particularly in scope and size. And I think everyone can agree that today, many of the work we're doing kind of is in that frame. So I'll move along, and let me just give you a little bit of background. So what is the map for the session? Well, first we're going to spend a little bit of time, why are we looking at mindset change? And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of have a look at capturing, I have this computer and it gives me the time, but it shows the screen is a little bit short and small. So how to capture and use the renewable human energy. The work that I'm doing a lot on now is looking at how do you renew energy in organizations at the people level. And then the third is how are you going to be able to weave this into the work that you do. So our hope is that the takeaway that you're going to have from today is that you will have some insights of a different way of coaching and working, that what you're going to do is have these epic experiences. So it's going to be interactive. You're going to have 4 experiences where you can actually turn to someone and have a little bit of a conversation. And then what we're hoping is that you'll be able to discover ways to generate renewable energy. So before I go into there, I believe it's all about inquiry, imagination, and play. So you're going to have the experience of all 3 of these. But can you play with me a little bit first of all? And I'd like you to, as a group, say the word spot 3 times out loud.
Spot, spot, spot.
I want you to spell the word spot for me once.
S-P-O-T.
What do you do at a green light?
Stop.
What do you do at a green light? I have to tell you, I do this a lot. Has anyone ever driven home and you get into your parking garage area and you look and you can't remember having been on the highway? So I just share that, and I have to tell you that some groups I work with, I won't mention, it's usually the executive teams in corporations. When I tried this, I've asked them 8 times, and they say, you've all come back, and nobody said, what do you do at green light? No. So why is that happening? And I wanted to start with this. And talk a little bit about some work that this woman, Ellen Langer, who's a professor, they're actually making a movie of some of her research next year, and I think Jennifer Aniston is going to play this young researcher as she was back 30 years ago. And what she talks about is that we go through life in a mindless state. We're an automatic pilot, and so the whole idea is that what we have to do in these really fast-changing times, our brain kind of goes, okay, that pattern looks familiar, here's a response. And so it saves us some energy. But when things are not the same as they were, as what's happening so much today, we often end up not kind of getting to the right place. And we have to be more mindful. So she uses the example of 2 orchestras, very similar in their abilities, playing classical music. And she recorded these. So Orchestra A, she said, okay, I want you to play this, imagine the best way they've ever played this before, and I want you to play it that way again. And they recorded it. And the second orchestra, she said, I want you to play your best, and as you're playing, I want you to think of nuances, different ways that you can make this even better. Now, in classical music, it's not like jazz. You pretty well have to stay to the notes. And what she discovered was when they presented the 2 recordings to an audience, the recording that was preferred was the second one. And when she asked the players which one did they feel more satisfaction with, it was the second one. So today what I'd like you to do is to be in a place of mindfulness and looking for the new and the novel as we're going through this, even though some of this may be familiar to you. Is everyone game for that? Great. Okay, so I've talked a little bit about why we're focusing changing mindsets. There's a lot of research that's showing when we do diagnostic change with humans and we're trying to convince them about here's all the reasons why you should change, if we want behaviors to change, there's a huge resistance. But when we actually do it in a way in which we'll practice in a story, dialogic way, what we discover is your mindset changes, and when your mindset changes, automatically your behaviors start to align. So that's why I'm personally focusing more and more on not change management.